I can't open the cap. The twisty lid is too spiky. Ow. What is up, you guys? It's me, your girl, your Casey. How the heck you doing? You fine, sexy thing. So, delicious. Actually, tastes a little watery, never mind. I've gotten over 1,000 subscribers. Thank y'all very much. I love it. I love you. Except you. You're a bit strange, aren't you? But because I got some new peeps flocking in, and they may not know who exactly this thing is. Yes, I am gonna leave it right there because I know it's gonna make a few of you cringe. I thought I would do the Nosy Booktuber Tag so y'all can get to know this even more. It's a very simple tag, a kind of chit-chat tag. Chit-chat? It's a chit-chat. We're gonna ask some reading habits questions. We're gonna talk about my best reads this year, my least favorite reads. It's gonna help warm me up for my eventual end of the year videos where I'm gonna do like a tier ranking because I've never done it before and I'm excited. Today's video is not sponsored by Lavender Mojito Kombucha. I love kombucha. It's typically it's non-alcoholic, but it does have little baby amount of alcohol because it's fermented. But while I have this suspiciously alcoholic shaped drink in my hand, y'all want to hear the story about my first drink? It's so innocent and sweet. If you don't, why don't you want to know more about my life, man? I thought we had a thing. I'm trying to open up. It's hard. I don't like this feeling of vulnerability. But if you still feel like you need to skip and get right into the bookish stuff, here's the timestamp. Do what you need to do. But let me regale you curious folk about my first drink, which happened last year at the tender, spry age of 23. So last year, what happened last year? COVID. This was right in March in America. That's when COVID really cracked down on us. Everything shut down for 2 weeks except the supermarkets. And that's when people were going crazy over toilet paper. So me and my mom, we masked up. We went to a Publix, and dear gosh, I've never seen so many people crammed in like sardines in a place before. The toilet paper aisle, ravaged, ransacked. People screaming over hand sanitizer. Me, I wasn't here for that. I was here for two things. One, make sure my mama didn't get trampled by the crowd. She's tiny. She's not even 5 feet tall, man. I lose track of her at grocery stores all the time because she's like perfectly level with the shelves, so I can't see her. But in the midst of all this humanity, I just wanted kombucha. I just wanted my kombucha. So amidst all the people, I'm speed walking to the produce section, throwing shoulders, elbows, anything to get people out of my way. And I get to the beautiful racks of kombucha. My favorite brand and my favorite flavor, Gingerade, it looks like this. It's clear and it has a white label. However, on this day, they were out of that, but they had the same brand and same flavor, but with a black label. Me, who is stupid, I thought, oh, they changed their labeling. Okay, I like the white label better. So my hand just swoops down, I pick up the black label bottle and I run to check out to meet my mom. And y'all, it's so packed. My social anxiety is freaking out. 6 feet distance? No. No, I'm just holding my breath behind my mask, praying for the checkout line to just go faster. And it was so noisy, man, and that got me into a little bit of trouble, just a little. Not too scandalous, but yeah, little. So it's our time to check out, and he swipes our groceries, and the guy finally gets to my kombucha bottle, and he picks it up and he says something to me, but there's so much noise around me, and I can't read his lips, because he has his mask on too. So he just goes, and I was like anticipating what he was saying. I thought he was gonna say, oh, is a paper bag good for this? Because it's a glass bottle. And so I said, yes. What he was really asking was, do you know this has alcohol in it? And I said, yes. But he didn't card me. Shame on you, Publix. Shame on you. Unless you think, oh my gosh, he thought I was an old lady. I hate Publix now. So we pay. We get to the parking lot. I settle into the passenger seat of my mom's car. And I bust out my kombucha, and as I'm like lifting the black labeled kombucha bottle to my lips, I finally see all the warnings on the label. Have to be 21 and older to drink. Don't drink and drive. So and so percentage of alcohol. And I'm like, oh, I got the big girl drink. And so I'm with my mom, I'm like, Mommy, look, we got the alcohol version. She's like, why are you gonna drink it? No, I paid for it. Probably should. So then I engaged in my first sip of alcohol. It didn't taste any different from regular kombucha, which is like very fizzly and acidic. So I drink drinks really fast because I don't want to lose any of the chilledness, the coldness. So I just go, and now the bottle's all empty. And we make that 2-minute drive back home because we live really close to our Publix. And like halfway there, I'm like, Mom, my legs feel really weird. I've had champagne and spiced rum and sake ever since that, and I hate the taste of alcohol. It tastes like nail polish to me, but I'm apparently a lightweight, because I had half a little thing of champagne, little tiny little glass. My head was killing me automatically. Dang it, that hurt. So yeah, I stick to the baby kombucha and just pretend I'm mature as I talk about all my bookish boyfriends. So now into the bookish stuff. Question number 1 of the Nosy Booktuber Tag is, how many books have I read this year? I've actually, first time ever, been keeping track on a list on a Word document. And I just finished one yesterday actually, so I need to update. I have my list arranged from favorite, the least favorites. Actually, favorites, the least favorites to DNFs. So I'm going to discount DNFs because I DNF a lot, but not actually a lot recently. But I remember in like January, I think this year, I DNF'd like 5 books and just that reading month alone. But let's see how much I've read. 36. I've read 36 books this year and I've DNF'd 11. This will probably come up in a later question, but I'm gonna go ahead and address it now. I made the decision to like limit how much I read a month. I'm keeping it to just 5 books and I don't feel bad about that. That's honestly still a ton of books compared to average consumers. But I'm also like, would that be enough content? But I'm like, as long as I keep like the genres like wide, have a thriller, have a horror, have a fiction, have a fantasy, have a YA, stuff like that, I think I'll have a little something for everybody. And if I'm reading less, that means I'll have better reviews because I have more time for note writing and stuff like that and scripting. Question 2, what was my favorite book this year? And so far, what has been my least favorite? My favorite has been The Lies of Locke Lamora. I cannot go on anymore about how the bonds, the brotherly bonds and friendships in that book were just so magnificent. The banter was witty and harsh at times, but just, again, just so much love between friends and like good ribbing, good jokes. But let me tell you, okay, I was so close to DNFing that book and thank goodness I did not, because it's a 5 stars, really it is. But like the first 200 pages of that book, it's very... There's a lot of heist stuff, stealing and scheming in this book. And the first 200 pages are like all the plans and explaining. It's like a hill that goes into that heist before the heist actually happens. But once you listen to all their plans and once they start actually getting the heist and moving, then it gets magnificent. It's like a roller coaster from there out, and I loved it and I cried. My least favorite book this year. I have a review for it up. Well, I'll tell you 2 books. One's called The Other Emily. That's my second least favorite book this year. I've read that one very recently. But my first least favorite book this year so far, and I don't think anything will top it this year, is called Even If We Break. Here's a picture, spit upon it. It's honestly horrible. Don't believe me, look at the Goodreads rating. Last I checked it was like 2.97, but that was months ago. That book, it's like a whodunit YA thriller. It is so obvious, man. It is so obvious. Motives made no sense. Characters so unlikable. You get like all the exposition about who each of these 5 characters are right off the bat. It's like all that character building is done way up in the front, then from the rest of the book, just blank expressions. You can't like any of these people because they're so just whiny and angry all the time. Also, can we talk about the terrible autistic representation? Well, I did in my video, go watch it. Do I have a favorite time and place that I like to read? Place, I like reading in bed, just so comfy. But I also feel guilty about reading in bed because it ruins my mattress. Like, you know, it sinks your body in. Your mattress gets lumpy. So I also like to read on the floor because I still like to be in that horizontal position. I can read anytime except at night. That's when I fall asleep. Oh my gosh, audiobooks, I can't read those anytime because then I would definitely fall asleep. I've tried so hard. Audiobooks, podcasts, just a nice soothing voice and I'm asleep. Like I'm gone and I just have to rewind the whole tape or whatever to catch up on what I left off at. I love writing in cafes, but I cannot read in a cafe. It makes no sense to me, except, well, maybe it does make sense. Because when I'm writing, I'm pushing everything in here out. But when I'm reading, I'm pulling what's in front of me into my brain. And that means all little sounds and people and their conversations around me. It's too distracting. Number 4, how many hours per day do I have the opportunity to read? Back when I was trying to read 100 pages a day, I would like set aside 2 hours just for reading. But now that I'm basically sticking to 5 books a month, and that means I'm basically halving 100 pages a day to 50. Now I'm just like, you know, any little small pieces of time, I just pick up 3 pages there, 2 pages there. Typically I do like reading in the mornings more because then it's just me and the book, no other people, everyone's still asleep. No sounds except the sounds from me as I gasp and cry and laugh. Sometimes just yell at these characters because they can be dumb. Like, what month is this? August? See all these books? Everyone here is stupid. Well, I haven't read this one yet, but these people, they dum-dums. Do I read only physical books, ebooks, or audiobooks, or a combination of all of them? Like I said, audiobooks? No, never, ever. I don't care who's narrating it. I can't pay attention. Apparently, honestly, ever since like high school and college, I've only done online learning because I cannot sit and listen to someone talk for hours on end. I can't go to lectures because my retention level is so low. I need it right in front of me. So it's always physical books or ebooks. And now I'm shifting towards wanting ebooks more because they're easier to carry around, they cost less, and they don't take up as much space. But I also like the aesthetic of having books. Although what good is it if I have all these pretty books and they all suck? Catch-22. What is my main pet peeve when I'm trying to read? When you accidentally pick open a book and you're trying to get to the next page, but you just accidentally drag your fingernails across the page and it makes that feeling on your fingertips and that sound. Deckled edges, I hate them. So uneven, so rough and rugged. Also, hairdressers. You see all this hair? It's a bunch. The last time I went to go get some highlights in, actually second to last time, I was in this barbershop. Well, a salon, but it looked like a barbershop, man. No decorations. Everything really sterile looking except for the woman doing my hair. She looked kind of greasy. Maybe this is rude on my part, but I wanted to read the whole time. I had Way of Kings on my ebook in my lap. Now I was gonna be there for 3 hours because it takes time to do all this. But my hair salon lady would not shut up. And I get it, girl, you're trying to be friendly so you'll get the nice tip. I'm gonna tip you anyways. Just let me read. You see me, my focus on the book. I don't want to know about your grandkids. I mean, I'm sure they're sweet, but please stop. And then at that same trip, that salon was right next to a pizza place. These other old ladies all came in, like 5 of them, with like pizza boxes in their hands. And no, they weren't here to get their hair done. They were just sitting around us, the lady doing my hair and me in the chair, talking, eating pizza with the salon lady as I'm just sitting there awkwardly amidst all these people now talking about all their grandkids. There was even a debate going on about whether spanking was okay. That was interesting to listen on. It got really saucy between them. I learned some gossip. This has nothing to do with books anymore. Moral of the story, hair salon people would talk your ears off no matter what. Number 7. Where's the strangest place I found myself reading? I know it doesn't seem like a long time because of editing, but I've been sitting here deciding whether to tell this story or not, but now I am. So for my church, okay, we went on this youth retreat, but I was one of the volunteers for the retreat. Did I want to volunteer at this retreat? No, because loathe is a strong word regarding middle schoolers, but I didn't want to be there trapped in a room with them as their assistant teacher. But it was part of the internship I was doing. Am I good with kids? No. But I was carted away in this party bus where I had to sleep in this awful room that smelled like cat urine, and the beds were made out of concrete. You think I'm kidding? I was not. I am not. But it was the second day of the retreat. They're in the church's sanctuary, the praise music going on. You got the bass booming, the guitar strumming, and my head was on fire. It was very loud, and my sensory overload with all the flashing lights and everything was going crazy. So I had my backpack on, and I had the help in my backpack. So I'm just gonna take a step out and just get my wits about me and stuff, calm down a little bit. So I took the book with me into the bathroom, and I went into the handicap stall because I wanted room to spread. Is this controversial, taking books into the bathroom? Let me know. But in case you are on the ew that's gross side, I wasn't actually using the bathroom. I was just sitting on the toilet reading. Super relaxing. I was getting to the pie scene. I was laughing in the bathroom, so maybe I'm crazy. But all these kids in the church, they're getting hyped. They're getting on fire for Jesus. They're getting crazy. So I'm just sitting merrily in the big stall, and then this storm of 3 hyper teenage girls comes charging in, and all three of them pile into the stall right next to mine. I'm watching their feet in the stall. All of their feet, all 6 of them vanish. They're all on top of the toilet now. I freak out. because now I think they're gonna stand up and look over at me in my stall, just sitting there with a book in my hand, which is gonna look weird. Also, three girls on a toilet. You shouldn't be doing that. And you know, I have some authority here. I'm actually here as like an adult. I have power. So I get my adult Casey voice on and I'm like, girls, what are you doing in the bathroom stall? Their chittering laughter dissolves. All three of them run out of the bathroom. And I'm like, oh my gosh, thank goodness I can get back to reading. But I couldn't because I was too paranoid that they'd come back in and like stare at me in my bathroom stall. So then I left the bathroom, but not before I ran into one of my other volunteer co-worker people. And they're like, hey, we just got told by 3 girls that someone yelled at them in the bathroom. And I'm like, oh yeah, that was me. They were loco crazy. So that was the strangest place I've read. I just needed some me time, okay? And lastly, the big question for booktubers. Am I a critical reader or am I in here for the enjoyment? I used to be here for the joy, man. But then I read some bad books and now I'm nitpicky as all get out. Yes, I'm hypercritical, but it's also because I want to be an author. So I'm like always in my mindset for editing and what to do with my books. So when I transfer to other people's books, I feel like I'm still in my book. So I'm like, why did you do that? No, you should have done it this way. Also, some books you have to be critical. Like with thrillers, you can tell right off the bat if it's gonna be good or bad, or if it's gonna be too obvious who did it and stuff like that. But I still get joy out of reading La Lamora, Anxious People, the Caraval trilogy, besides the first book. Those was great, and I critically scrutinized all of them and enjoyed the heck out of them too. I have my guilty pleasure books, like the Lockdown Escape from Furnace series. There ain't nothing deep or poignant about that series. It's just about a bunch of kids blowing junk up. I love it, okay? It helps me release some feelings. And y'all, that was a very short tag that I somehow managed to stretch into 30 minutes of raw footage. This'll be a joy to edit. But y'all, thank you guys so much. Cheers. Thank you for watching. I'm sorry if I bored you with my mini story times in this video. Do you too have a horrible fear of being spied upon in the bathroom stall? It permeates every moment of my waking life. Nothing good happens when 2 or more gather in a public bathroom stall. That's all I got to say for this. Thank you again for watching. I've said that 3 times already. But until next time, stay ready, my friends.